right, so guys, we are here at Cornfields Green Ghana Ltd. This is their corn farm. As you guys can see, you have seen preview videos of it so far. So right now we're about to have a discussion about how everything started and where they are right now and what they are going to be doing in the future. But first of all, I want to introduce the owners,
right?
I guess.
So my name is Perez Danso from Pong, and I'm Executive Director at Cornfields Green Ghana Ltd.
Okay.
Director Cornfields Green Ghana Ltd.
Okay, great. So, Imano, I know you, you know me, and I think 2 years ago you hit me up and you were like, you're starting this whole project, and then you needed investors, and you reached out to me, and I decided to invest. So, can you tell me, why did you guys decide to start going to maize farming or corn farming?
Right. So we looked at the emerging threat of food insecurity, and growing population and shortage of food. So we tried to identify a problem and realized that this is something that we can solve, this is something that we can do. This is also something that is easily scalable for us. So we decided to venture into corn farm as some of the solutions we as young people can provide towards the emerging threat of food insecurity.
Okay, and that's in Ghana here, right?
That's in Ghana here, yeah.
Okay.
Funny enough, for my undergrad thesis, I was looking at how climatic factors affect crop yield, and the focus was more on corn. So, finishing school, the interest was picked over there. I did the meteorology and climate science. How is that changing climate actually affecting yield? So we decided that, as you said, food security issues. So how can we also model something that can be quite robust even with this changing times where the climate is vastly changing? Yeah.
Okay.
We started this out.
All right. So, you told me about the first phase of this project, which was last year.
Yeah.
And
last 2 years, actually.
Last 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So, from the time that we first had our first conversation till now, what has happened?
Right. So, so this is it. One thing about farming and agriculture in general is that whatever you're doing, you make sure that you start at the base, you master it, and then you scale up.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, we started with 50-acre corn farm, and we have plans to scale up. So that was somewhere in February 2020. So we started with 50 acres, and we did 4 planting seasons, and we learned a lot out. Of course, there are 2 planting seasons in a year, right? So this is our 4th planting season, and the plans are that after the 4th planting season, we will scale up and go. We are currently in Offenso North District, so we'll go to a place where we can get a bigger land, and all things being equal, we've had the land, we've secured the land, and our plans are in place starting in March 2022.
March 2022.
Yeah, this year. So what we'll do is that we are moving to a Tebubu Amantin district, and a town called Akokwa, so that we are going to start about 400-acre farmland. But what has happened, we learned a lot, and what we also try to do is that we try to bring people on board, we try to educate people on how they can also go about their farming. So we realize that if we currently are doing 50 acres, and if we've not had access to the 400 acres, what we can do is that we can replicate ourselves in many ways. So we started another thing called consulting. So we consulted for other commercial farms, other people. We also try to encourage people to enter into farming. What we do was that we were also managing the project for them, right?
So more or less, when we started out, we tried to make some videos and put on YouTube, and people were seeing what we're doing, telling them about the kind of videos that they can hit, per acre, and it was quite unbelievable. So we had quite a number of people coming on board that, is it possible that you could help us model something similar? And that's how come the whole consulting bit came in. So people call us that, I also want to do a farm and I need help. So we started doing that. But one of the challenges that we realized was that we had farms scattered all around. We had farms in the central region, farms close to the up north, Agogo. It was quite spread out. So Kintampo and all that. At times we had to travel 11 hours in and out. It was crazy. And so me moving around to supervise farms was quite difficult. And so we decided that, let's come up with something called a virtual crowd farming. Yes, because most of the people who were contacting us were Ghanaians staying abroad. We had people who speak to us from Belgium, from UK, Canada, and
Holland.
Yeah, Holland, so many other places.
Okay.
And the issue is with management. And so we can model a farm for you, be a consultant on your project, but how do you ensure that the right thing is really being done? Management is a key concern. So the virtual cow farm is such that, let's say, for instance, you want to go into agriculture, you want to do 50 acres. Cornfields secure the land, we manage the farm on your behalf. All you have to do is that you have to fund the farm for the whole farming year.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, we handle in sales and marketing, because we've been able to establish some links with some companies that buy the maize and all that. So we handle right from field preparation through to sales and marketing. Then afterwards, we look at the profit split, kind of at the end of the year.
Wow. So to clarify everything going on, so to summarize everything, so not only do you guys have your own fields that you the company currently manages this, but you also bring on board other investors who want to actually start their own fields.
Exactly. Who don't have access to lands.
To lands.
Yes,
Okay.
so more like we are bringing about a lot of people together, one vast land, and we divide it, partition it according to the number of investors, amount they invested, and all that, and based on that. So so that's basically it. One vast land, a lot of investors. That will also help us. We are not going to travel around, but we have a centralized place.
Centralized field.
Yeah, so where production is taking place and all that.
Okay, all right. So, and I mean, based on what you guys have been able to do over here, that also shows that you guys actually know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What you're about.
Yeah.
And like your work speaks for itself. So that's really, really good. But apart from, so with both managing farms and also managing farms for other people, what types of challenges do you guys experience? Or what challenges do you usually?
I think for me, I'll speak of two. I don't know if Prem will add some, but the issue is access to labor and the climatic factor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now we don't get a lot of people to willingly come that they want to work on your farm for you. And when you get it, the price at which you have to pay for labor many times is so high.
And sometimes they disappoint.
They disappoint. They extend the work period and all that. Maybe work that can be done for, let's say, 5 days, they end up using 10 days.
Yeah.
And they don't take work on contract too. They would want you to pay them per day. Yeah. And so the more days being spent on the field, the more you're paying. And so at times, if care is not taken, you end up spending so much on labor, and you're not really getting a lot of profit. And so we looked at it and we're like, the best way to go is mechanization. And so for our project that we are going into, we are looking at a full mechanized farm, so that we'll be getting our tractors, our combine harvesters, and even looking at irrigation options and all that. The first issue is access to labor. Then the second thing is the climatic factor. I mean, rainfall patterns have changed over time. Currently, what we are seeing is that the time periods that we knew the season to start is changing gradually. And so local farmers know that maybe the season should start in March. And sometimes what happens is that it will start on the latter date or it will start earlier. And if you don't properly time the season, it's either you're planting too late or you're planting too early. Either case, you can have issues with your field.
It's going to affect yield.
It will affect your yield drastically. So what we started doing is that we have a prototype that we are working on, and we use climatic data to know. Ghana here, we don't have a lot of data available, so we use satellite to be able to get geospecific data on fields. Currently, we are able to access up to 8 years worth of data.
Oh wow,
past data, and we assess the field to see how gradually the local climate is changing, and we actually develop operations in sync with the changing climate. And that's just an adaptive model that we are looking at. We are hoping to replicate it on nationwide level. But the way to go now is irrigation, which is quite expensive. Very, very. All the options are expensive. And so if you are doing a small scale farm, you wouldn't be able to afford that. And so what the cow farm seeks to do is that if you're having a lot of people coming on board, let's say someone is doing 100 acres, another person is doing 200 acres, we would be able to afford to irrigate the entire field, and there should be a cost split. And the irrigation is going to show. I mean, locally, we visit with our consulting work, we go to some farms, and people are just getting about $5 per acre. That's the 100 kg bags, $5 per acre. Some are getting maximum about 10 bags. Meanwhile, fields has the potential to be able to give you about 35 to 40 bags per acre.
Wow.
Yes. Even with irrigation, 100 kg irrigation and some seed varieties, you may be able to hit even 50 bags per acre. I mean, you'll be able to achieve that by ensuring the right crop density, issue of controlling your weeds, the right seed variety, pests, and all that. So once you put all these things in place, which will be done over here in Africa, or in Ghana, let me say, because I'm here, we do farming as a way of life, and not treat as a hobby. Yeah, we don't treat it like a business.
Not a lot of people do that.
No. And that's what we want to do. We want to treat farming as a business, right?
Yeah.
Where we can be able to give you a model which explains your operational cost, how much you can project in terms of your expected revenue, and you can even use that data to have certain projections as to how you could scale and all that. So our plan is to be able to, design agric farming, right?
Yeah, because like my dad is a farmer himself, and I told you last time, when I went to his farm, he has an amazing palm nut farm, but it's just like
Eastern region.
Yeah, in near Cocoa.
Okay.
Region, and it's like he doesn't we don't really know what's going on. Like how much money did you make from it? How much money did you make at the end of the year?
Usually all they care about is I've harvested, I've gotten something to eat.
Something to eat. That's about it. You understand? And it's like we just move forward from there. So that's really, really good. Like really seeing farming from a business perspective and really taking it seriously, like professionally serious. And like really, I think like analyzing and monetizing is like the best way to go. When you can analyze and monetize and you know what you need to do to move things forward. And so now talking about the nature of agriculture in Ghana, especially like among the youth, like I'm really impressed that young people have decided, like everybody's like getting into tech.
Some of the interesting thing is that someone like, hey, so you are done with school and decided to go into farming. Because some people here.
Funny enough, Perez has an undergrad in
biochemistry.
He has a master's
in nutrition.
Okay.
And I'm about to start my PhD. But so why going into farming? I mean, the student, you are above that, and come on, we all eat. We taking something. I mean, who is going to produce food for you to eat?
True.
Exactly.
It's not that. I'm currently an MBA student, right? Studying in University, and I feel that the things that we are studying there, agric is the next phase for me. Currently, in Ghana here, everybody wants to stay in the office, wants to do this and all that. But by some projections, by 2050, if the world doesn't increase its food capacity
by times 4,
yes, 50% of the world's population is going to go hungry.
Interesting data released says that I'm a nutritionist, so about 2 billion people are overnourished, and more than 2 billion people are starving and undernourished. So come on. Food is an issue, and these are some of the things: zero hunger, some of SDG, Sustainable Development Growth, zero hunger. Access to food. These are things that the nations are trying to work on, so that there is food available for everyone. And come on, about 1,000 years ago, the land available was still the same. But the population was lesser. Now, we have about 10 billion people in this world. By the year 2050, it's going to double. Yes. So, but we still have the same
amount of land.
Of land.
And funny enough, a larger percentage of the world's arable land is here in Africa. That's a funny thing, but we are just not concerned. And I want to use this opportunity to throw it out there that a lot of young people who are interested in doing farming, look at my hands. I started to think you think farming.
Well, my palms are soft.
I started to think farming. You think farming, they think that you have to hold a hoe. Right, there's a lot of advancement in agriculture. Tractors that use GPS and satellites and all that.
About DJI drones and stuff like that.
Well, on the project we'll be starting this year, we'll be using drones to do field monitoring, to monitor pests, water stress and all that. So farming is not just about holding the hoe. No. There's so much happening there.
The nations of this world are supposed to not help. When they are advertising about farming, they'll pick an old woman, who look very sick, and they don't make farming attractive. An old.
And even our government ourselves doesn't even make farming attractive. Like even recently, there was a news that for the Accra's best farmer, all he got was a bicycle. And something it's just
I think one of the reasons why young people are not going into agriculture is because there isn't access to financing. And funny as it may be, to do agric,
it's very capital intensive.
You see, on finance, that's something that you guys were able to pull off. How did you do that? Because I'm like, yo, you may know, like, you're talking about 50 acres. Like, you must have.
Yeah, you know, we banged on a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we also had friends we spoke to who believed in the vision.
Yeah.
And some of them, well, we didn't particularly have an angel investor, but we had friends who believed us and who believed in the vision, and also us, and knew that we are determined and this is what we want to do. Of course, we've walked to all the banks. Trust me. you know, they'll tell you that our funds are available for, young people and all that. We don't know where it passes. You know, you bank on all the. We've been to all the banks. And all that, but you know, this is what we want to do, and we press towards it. We speak to people. We sometimes, there are moments that our project was depleted of funds. There were moments we needed money to extra money more than budgeted to get inputs and all that. There were times that prices of inputs escalated, but we still had to work around it. I think that our friends also helped us a lot, and our family also helped us a lot. Yeah.
All right, so shout out to all the friends and families out here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I want to talk to the farm manager. So the farm manager is
Alfred.
Alfred.
Yeah, can you come?
So how has it been like, managing such a like big farm? What type of problems do you guys go through?
So she been our farm to trim.
Yeah.
So we from the we were home more. Some my phone. It's me abahano. Maybe no penny pass when you and to maybe you say a human. The pass a yano intent him. My phone soon. Be abahano tembiana human. Nti here say bia sinke pese eduma be bia na be nipa o me ye ntentima ma ya say de be ya eduma no koso ama
nipa no like eduma no o be so mo ya like I say
eduma na din ba
eduma na din
sua
nti be no aso nti eduma no nti na ya ma mo ye as a boy can say e be eduma no right until like if ankamunya more machines and kebe bo am ejuma no akoso ye pa than say mo depending on other people, right?
Machines and kebe timi anya ya kebe bo e pa nti unya machines na nipa nso no se de be ya ebia oba penny pa se de be ya omo no so na me blen so ati akofo makare machines ne wo hono ma be bo e sin se nipa be penny pa don go ban ya ko bi wo ho nya tikantu omo nyina bedu mebe nso no kofa na on pese obebe bi na ya twintwen te ya na edwuma no ka ekire bibiri nti utimi hu se aburo ebi afa makama ebi nso wo ho no ma bibia ni ho te edwuma na ayeye no dependent edwuma no enye nipa emmom sa wo benye nipa de nne ade be ki hunye nipa betimi abegine ho sa edwuma na ma dile edwuma no delete sa
Okay, let me say something here. Because the nature of the work here, it's not very formal. We're talking about treating agric as a business. So if you're doing on a large scale, you can afford to employ people full time. That you know that these people are responsible. Many times for the locals, when they come, maybe on days that they don't have any work at home or on their own farms, then they'll make themselves available for you to work. And so they can come today. You need them tomorrow. Maybe the work is supposed to span for like 5 days. But he needs some quick money to do something. So the first day he'll come and work. The second day, because he has something else to do, he'll go and he won't come again. And maybe the third day he'll say that, I'm available. And so you are not able to fully rely on them. But if it was that we are doing a large acreage and we can afford to put them on full-time employment, where you know that you have them working for you continuously, that's when. So there are times where maybe you have to undertake some spraying activities. If you had a boom sprayer, that would have been easy. One person can spray like thousands of acres. But in this case, you have 3 people coming. The second day they should come, they're like, Mekwako spray bro baby. They have another work somewhere else, so they don't come. So they won't come, and so it makes the work some way. So at times you can plan that this activity is supposed to span for 3 days, but you may end up using about 10 days to do that, which is quite challenging. The main reason why we want to go mechanized if we want to get the best of output. Yeah.
Okay. But you want the mobile say, yeah, this is a very, very nice farm. Yeah. All right. Into that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Any closing remarks? Or
Yeah, so I think for me, I would say that agric is very lucrative, and I would encourage a lot of young people to come into agriculture. As I said before, it's quite capital intensive, and I know there are people out there who might have the capital. And so if we can identify young people, just what we're doing, or any other young person that might be quite passionate about doing agriculture, and you could support, it could be anything. Even the government could even support us with machinery, not necessarily given to us free of charge, which I don't believe in. But if it could be given to us to pay for it over a period, because imagine you have to purchase a tractor for like 200,000-300,000 Ghana cedis. That's quite huge. Someone who is just out of university cannot afford that. But if there was a program where governments could just offer that machine to you to start working with and pay for it over time, I think it would be quite good. And maybe young people could also come together. I wanted to do a farm on my own. Perez also wanted to start his own farm. And he was like, why not we just have a collaboration? I tell you the truth, if I should have been doing this on my own, I would have been dead by now. And so if you could look at having collaborations, friends, probably after national service, I know people finish national service and don't have anything to do and they're staying home. You can come together and start a project. And I mean, I'm sure that when you put in the effort, it's going to pay off. Yeah.
okay. Good.
You're saying that Greek is the backbone of our economy. I don't know how we believe it. I don't know how we are living it. If we don't take care, there's going to be a generation of people who have no knowledge about agriculture. A time will come, no one is going to farm. Yeah, because in quotes, we all want the white collar job. Yeah. And so, currently we are running about 1,200 acre project on consulting at Kintampo North District. We have another 300 acre project we are also running at Pambroso. Also another 200 acre project at Akokwa, Bono East region. So now there are people who want to enter into farming. They don't have the time. Some don't have the land. Some also, maybe one or two reasons, they are not even available at all. They are outside the country. So such people, whoever you are, you can come on board. We can help you. Those of you who don't have the lands, we have you can come on board on our crowd farming project, and we can run a very good program. And everyone is going to be happy at the end of it all. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yes, something to say.
Cool.
Okay.
So, guys, you guys have heard it all. So, this is a call out to all of us in the diaspora. There's a lot of opportunities here in Ghana to invest. Not just in real estate or not just in in tech and all that stuff, but in agriculture. We all grew up with agriculture. We know agriculture. Our parents are farmers, our grandparents were farmers, and that's what we know how to do. So if there is one thing that we should all be excited to invest into, that should be agriculture and farming. So Cornfields Green, you've heard about them, you know what they can do. You can either join as an investor on board into their farms, or you can join as a crowdfunder and have your own farm based on what you want. They will advise you, they will consult you on what's the best, what crops you can farm and what output or what returns you're going to get from it and all of that. And based on what they have done now, you know that they're not just about the talk, but then they are also walking the walk as well. So
shoe working.
Shoe work. Focus air. All right, so guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Alfred, that's a plan.